Chapter 16, Focus. You've come through 15 different chapters so far, the majority of them jam-packed with actionable digital marketing tips. But how do you ensure that you follow through and get things done? Should you try to implement as many of these digital marketing opportunities as possible? For Jeff Sauer from jeffalytics.com, you should focus on doing one thing really well.
I know that we've gone through a lot of time and there's been a lot of people and over 100 different people have given you tips. And so my advice is really to be unique, because there's a lot of things that are going on here. There's a lot of things that you could do. There's a lot of things that you're probably going to do out of this. And so be unique in what you do. You don't have to choose every single one of the things that you've learned. And in fact, you probably should just choose one or two of them or a few of them and to do them very well. So being unique in the marketplace is really what I'd focus on. So where can you be unique? Should you be able, can you do live video like this and be unique? Like what you're doing in this broadcast is super unique. So there's nothing really like it that I've seen before. So it's really cool to do that. What sets you apart? What's the angle that you're going to take? Instead of being overwhelmed by thinking you need to do 100 things, you should be empowered by saying, I can do this one thing or these two things extremely well, have a unique position, and be the unique player in the marketplace. So focus on being unique in one area and do that well, and you're going to get a lot more dividends than doing 100 things not very well at all.
Chris Green, head of search at Strategic, agrees wholeheartely with the focus message.
So my one's actually keeping things simple or stripping things back to basics, really. And the main goal of next year, I think, really is to do less of what doesn't work and more of what does. And I know that sounds a little bit sort of common sense, but I'm thinking more sort of coming from my angle, from an SEO perspective. Stop wasting time on the things, the tweaks, the tiny fixes, hoping to over optimize something and get it working, and actually focus on those elements that do bring the bacon. If you're kind of tweaking title tags or meta descriptions when you have no discernible link profile, or if you're chasing kind of keyword densities and other kind of elements and old school parts of SEO picture, and you're not getting anywhere, it's probably because you've taken your eye off the ball and you're distracting yourself with all of the stuff that's not right. So my key kind of parts of that, and this is almost telling myself of a year or two ago, is only pick the tools you need, stop tweaking and look at the larger picture. But the main thing is be confident in your overall strategy and don't be afraid to try and see it through. Obviously marketing and optimization is an iterative process, but people can kind of often kill that by not staying the course and actually having the confidence to see it through. And the one actionable tip is, really invest that time and make friends with journalists, editors, people in that space that you really need help from. And a lot of people are reluctant to do that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of investment, but it always pays off in my experience. And just make sure your first interaction with them is not asking for a link. Find some other way in to break the ice, and then you'll see it come through into fruition.
The message of simplification and greater focus is something that Jeff Winberg, Group Coaching Manager at Lead Pages, is encouraging his clients to do.
Yeah, for 2017, I would love to see everybody simplify and focus. And what I mean by that is typically a lot of people, like the kind of best practices to subscribe to email lists and figure out what people are doing and all that kind of stuff. But I found that actually causes a lot more stress and paralyzes people from actually getting stuff done and taking action. So when I started encouraging people in my groups at Lead Pages to, don't not ignore everything, but just make a note of it and put it aside so you can focus on whatever it is you're doing, they started seeing better results. So my simple down and dirty tip is to simplify and focus.
And for Stephen Christopher from Sequus, it's not just about laser targeting of your off-site marketing activities. It's bringing that whole process of simplification into your website experience.
So mine is pretty easy. 2017, people's attention span is continuing to decrease. So my biggest tip for 2017 is simplify. find clarity in what you're doing and make sure that it's a very easy message for visitors to your and your clients' websites on what it is they're supposed to do. We see so many websites that have, 5 call to actions, and people get lost and they're not sure what to read, and they have 15 social media icons and people don't know where to go. So get really laser focused on what your objective is. We talk to our clients a lot by saying, pick the top 1 to 3 objectives of your website, and then make sure that that's really all that's shown, especially on your homepage. And then if you want to give people additional information, they can take steps to get deeper into the website. But if we give people too many options, they'll end up doing nothing. And for the most part, our websites are all about converting visitors into some form of business. So make sure that you're very clear on it. And the second piece that goes into as well is your social media. Not all of us have as much time or drive or hustle as Gary Vaynerchuk. I see clients trying to be everything to everybody on every social media platform. Just pick 1 or 2 that you're really great at and stick with it and do it consistently, and it will make a much bigger difference in the outcome of your site and your online presence.
And Alex Tachlova, founder of digitalolympus.net, says that being focused on setting and tracking key performance indicators, KPIs, is key.
It's all about KPIs today. So if you want to be really successful when you are set up in your KPIs, you need to know how to measure them exactly. Not like, I might know how to measure them. So the problem comes when you are implementing those KPIs, and then you are figuring out that you don't know how to measure them. And that's a real problem. So before you're going to use any metrics to check your success, just be sure that you know how to measure them, and you have an environment where you can easily track them.
But it's rather easy to lose focus. And Ed Dale from eddale.co has some advice to help us keep doing what we should be doing.
Very simple tip for 2017 is use a timer. We live in a world where we don't have a lot of constraints. It may seem like we have a lot of constraints in terms of time and all those sort of things. But when it comes to implementing any of the hundreds of tips that you've heard on this broadcast, putting the constraint of time around things is one of the most powerful tips I can give. So if you're doing copywriting, set a timer for 25 minutes. If you're doing a free writing session, set a time for 10 minutes. If you're doing a script, set a timer. In fact, this entire broadcast has been the example of the power of constraint. We've got 2 minutes to give our best idea for 2017. So I think this is a living, breathing example of my best tip for 2017.
Chapter 16, Focus Summary. Be unique in what you do and focus on doing one thing really well. Focus on what makes a difference and then stay the course. Don't be afraid to see it through. If something captures your interest, make a note. Don't ignore it, but after that, put it aside so you can focus on whatever it is that you should be doing. Bring that focus and clarity to your website. Have no more than a maximum of 3 calls to action on your website. Know precisely how to measure your business's KPIs consistently and reliably. Whatever you're doing, set a timer. Set constraints for each of your activities. You can get your copy of Digital Marketing in 2017, the book, over at digitalmarketingin2017.com. Just scroll down, click on the orange order button, and you can choose from ordering the paperback or the Kindle edition on either Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk. Then, when you've ordered, come back to digitalmarketingin2017.com to claim your bonuses.